able to build something of my own and build it my way, that's something that has always appealed to me. I wanted to be able to build at some point throughout my professional, life. I wanted to be able to build a company. And I truly believe that this is going to be just one of multiple companies, close to 7,000 every single month in Q3. And we're projected to grow in 2026.
So we have Evan Tomahong here with me here today. Really excited about this episode here. Me and Evan have a little bit of a history together. When he first joined the community, he reached out to me and, made a drive down to come visit me on a couple of my installs that I had. Evan, thanks, man. I appreciate you joining. How's it going?
Going well. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to kind of share my story. Obviously, you have been an incredible mentor. I've learned a ton from you as well as the community, but just really excited to be able to share my journey, my story, and also be able to explain kind of my experience within the Vendingpreneur community and everything that the community has done for me. So super excited to be here.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad that you're here. So let's talk about that a little bit. So what were you experiencing prior to joining Vendingpreneurs? What was your role? What were you doing for work? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I come from a legal background, went to law school out in San Diego. I'm from Wisconsin, so moved back home and then actually did some compliance work in the financial services, investment banking world and decided to leave that. And I have a business background and have always had an entrepreneurial mindset. And actually right before I had joined, I had taken a break from the corporate world and was actually caddying full time. Once that, season kind of wrapped up, I was figuring out my next step. And this kind of journey had sparked this kind of vending kind of market has sparked my interest. And then just really was able to find Mike Hoffman through Twitter. And then in addition to that, do my own research and felt that this was a really good opportunity for me to be able to launch my own company and be able to pursue that journey. So I have been in the community, I would say just over a year. So started at December of 2024 is when I joined. So just over a year into this.
Oh yeah, because you joined me on those installs. I believe it was in February of 2025. So yeah, you were
Yep.
fresh, jumped in, did it, and then you kind of you reached out and you kind of got some live on training experience of how I was installing some of those machines down there. So yeah, no, that was cool. That was a good experience for you too, to kind of see exactly the logistics of how it needs to be done, how it needs to be set up, stocking those machines and just kind of handling that whole day of an install type process. Yeah, that was I commend you for going down there to drive down there to kind of see how it all happened. So what, you're in the corporate world, you're in the investment banking, financing. I mean, those seems those are very appealing jobs. Growing up watching the movies, you got Wall Street, those guys are driving the hot cars, all this stuff.
Sure.
Why was it you were in there, you had some of that exposure to that and you were just hey, this isn't me, there's got to be a different way?
Yeah, I had felt just first off being able to build something of my own and build it my way. That's something that has always appealed to me. I wanted to be able to build at some point throughout my professional, life. I wanted to be able to build a company. And I truly believe that this is going to be just one of multiple companies for me to build. But then also just looking at, moving back, home to the Midwest from San Diego, I had just felt that just kind of at the growth of my journey that I had felt, okay, I need to take a little bit more ownership into my own hands of building something instead of having a company be kind of determine my career trajectory. I really wanted to own that and have a little bit more control over that trajectory. So that was kind of a big shift. And at the end of the day, flexibility, being able to, have your hand in a lot of different parts of the company instead of being siloed to just one specific role. And then just my passion for business and entrepreneurship really allowed me to really make this jump. And of course, it's scary and there is risk involved, but I had felt that it was a perfect opportunity to be able to make that jump and really 100% into buying into myself and into my own journey and growth.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, especially for you being at such a young age and just kind of like recognizing that, saying that, hey, this is something that I want to do. I want to gain financial control of my own future. It is risky. I mean, it's, it could be daunting. People talk themselves out of it. It definitely does take a certain type of person to kind of be an entrepreneur. It's not all glitz and glam. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of grit of getting after it. And, I mean, dude, I commend you by making that decision so early on, in your career and in your life to even, to kind of go ahead and set yourself up to put yourself in the position of like kind of like where you're at now. So that kind of leads me into my next one. So you found Mike, you joined the community. Why did you choose to join Vendingpreneurs over like any other option? Like, were you looking at any other businesses? Were you looking at any other different industries to kind of get into? But like, why Vendingpreneurs?
Yeah, so there's a couple other industries, but for me, again, like, learning from your background in terms of, the real estate world, I wanted to be able to have access to resources, and I wanted it to be a scalable model, especially looking at just consumer behavior shifting towards unattended retail, whether it's
Uh-huh.
at the airport, whether it's self-checkout at the grocery store, or whether you go to sports games. Everything is shifting towards unattended retail. So I had felt that this was an opportunity that allowed me to really hone in on the operation side and be able to learn kind of the business inside and out. And I strongly believe that Vendingpreneurs was a great platform to start to be able to learn from others in the community like yourself, but also be able to share ideas and resources and also be able to support other entrepreneurs that are doing something similar across the country. Because as you had said, it's not all glitz and glam. And, we hear success stories about scalability very early on in their path. And it took a long time to be able to get things going on my end with my own business.
Mhm.
So Vendingpreneurs has been just a great platform to be able to really learn the business inside and out, and then be able to learn from others within the community. And it's an extremely supportive community, and being able to learn and grow together has been something that's been really rewarding for me throughout this process as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone, I want to appreciate everybody for watching. Please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Evan, so like joined December 2024. You basically shadowed me in February of 2025. You're a little bit over a year, like about a year into your journey of actually joining the community. Like walk me through like your biggest win. Like when did you get your first location installed? Like kind of talk me through of like where you're at here today.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get my first, placement installed until June of 2025. So,
Mhm.
I mean, if I joined in December of 24, it took months and months to be able to get my first placement. I remember constantly reaching out to you like, "Hey, I'm trying to, I'm really trying to get," and you just kept reassuring me like, "Be patient. Be patient. You want to get off. You want to start on the right foot with the right
Yeah,
type of location, the right placement." Now, that was really difficult because there's always doubts, or is this really the path that I want to go on?
absolutely.
And maybe this isn't what I had thought it was. So it was really difficult to kind of grapple those. But again, regardless of the industry or the type of business and entrepreneurship, being patient, but being consistent with different action items, and then being able to get that up and running in June. I had pretty strong growth after June, into being multiple locations, and then for Q3 of this year, really having some great consistency in strong revenue, close to 7,000 every single month in Q3. And we're projected to really be able to grow in 2026 and be able to really work towards a growth strategy now that the operation side is running really smoothly right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and that's one of the biggest things that I challenge like operators when they first like get into the business is like you're a new entrepreneur, you want to get going, you want to get vending machines, but it's not about placing vending machines so you could take a picture of it and post it on your Instagram or Facebook and all that stuff for your friends. Like you're in it to make money and you're in it to start a business and you want to provide value for this amenity, but you also want to get paid for it, right? So you want to make sure that you're not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole in the beginning where you're trying to force a location because, you didn't leave a banking job, to leave law school and do all that stuff to become, getting a low paying job as a vending operator, So So at the end of the day, like you really have to model it out of what's going to work best. And then it's so like you could go, I want to put it, I want to place that machine, but that resistance and that patience and that poise that you have to before you can kind of get to those other those better locations where it is going to be worth it for you. Like it is tough. It is tough. And it's a mental game. It's a mental game for sure.
Yeah, and I think, I see a lot on social media about, passive income. These are the best ways to have a passive income. I always say no business or no startup is passive.
Yeah.
You have to put a lot of work in, which, I've seen and learned from you as well as Mike in the community, to be able to get it to a position of where there's a lot more strategic working. We say all the time in the community, being able to work on the business instead of in the business.
Yeah.
But I also realized too, once you have those first placements, how many moving parts are actually happening on the back end, whether it's, sourcing products or location optimization, as
Yeah.
well as continuing to develop relationships from each of your clients. So I had also set a goal for my year one, but I also didn't want to scale too quickly where then operations, service, quality drop off because
Yeah, I get it.
just like in any other business, if you're scaling before operations are really in fine tuned or efficient, that's where, in my opinion, businesses go to die. So that was something that was, a huge emphasis for myself in building out kind of my year one in this business.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great point as well. You're well said. I mean, I had the same type of methodology, going into my route of building it out. I didn't want to scale too quickly. I really wanted to learn the operations of it. So then that way, when I brought on help, I wanted to be able to make sure that I was able to train, and I knew that this was going to be scalable and repeatable. Where I knew if as I kept on adding locations, and if okay, I just had to hire a guy for this, and once I reached a certain threshold of how many locations, okay, I needed to bring another guy on. So understanding that method of trying to do that, it definitely helped me out, as well too. And yet you're taking that same exact path, with I commend you. So what is the highest revving location that you have right now, like per month? Like what does it do? What's the highest one you got?
Right now, it's about 2,700 in revenue a month. Now I'm trying to
Mm.
push over that 3,000 mark with, potentially some pricing strategy adjustments and some product optimization. But
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. It's a high volume location. And what I have found really fascinating, and it's a really fun part of the business, is each location's really different. It could be kind of similar, I guess, from a 10,000-foot overview, but each location is very, very different. So being able to it's not a formula by any means of like, this is what you do. There's a starting point, but then there's adjustments that you have to make to be able to get certain locations to that point. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm excited to continue to not only grow, but continue to optimize each location
Yep.
because each one need that effort, need that analysis to be able to continue to drive those numbers up.
Couple fun questions here. So like what is your top selling product across like all your locations? Like what is it? What are the couple of the items that are like the top two?
Yeah, top two, top three would be Monster Original, Coke cans, Coke bottles would be really Red Bull, energy drinks, obviously a ton of revenue. So that would really be number wise the highest, I guess, quantity products.
What is the most, like, unique, like, product that you put in a machine and, like, it's sold and you're like, "I can't believe that sold." Like, do you have any of those? Like, some people have, like, they have used, like, toilet paper, they have paper towels, they had chargers, batteries in general, like, any type of unique type products or anything like that that you're like, "I can't believe this thing actually sold." Or even, like, it could be, like, some chip or some candy that, nobody has ever heard of before.
Yeah, there was one that it took a little bit because I had really questioned whether this product was going to move, and it did really well, and that was Lunchables, which
Mm.
surprised me. The other one is like Mountain Dew Code Red or Mountain Dew Baja Blast, which does really well as well. And then some higher end premium products like Fins, different
Oh,
products
yeah.
like that, do well. And then, but yeah, those would probably be more of the unique kind of ones or these, Pop Tarts, like Crunch Pop Tart bites, are interesting, but it's constantly evolve. Like being able to put new products in at each location is really important to change your planogram around and be able to offer new products and testing out new products. But I would say those ones really surprised me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. How has this, like, since with you being in a year in, how has this business, like, made your life different?
I'm extremely proud of what the business I'm building. Being able able to, be a servant leader, being able to empower the team that I have around me. I have great people around me to be able
Mhm.
to that I trust and that I've taken a lot of pride in developing and teaching the business. That's probably the biggest thing that has been a big change for my business. And then secondly, shifting to being able to give back more to the community, being a resource and to, help speed along other people within the community on their journey.
No, that's cool. Where do you think you would be right now if you didn't join the Vendingpreneur program?
I would probably still be in the corporate world for sure, whether in the
Mm.
in the legal world or definitely somewhere in the corporate world. And, for me, I've found this journey to be just super rewarding. And I think that this is, just the first of many different businesses that I'll pursue. But being able to do this one right, do it the right way and grow sustainably is my focus right now for sure.
If someone was on the fence about joining Vendingpreneurs, what would you tell them?
That's a good question. I would tell them that although it's scary and there's a lot of risk involved, that, you're the one that's in control of your own journey and that, if you're passionate and curious about learning about other businesses and being able to learn from others to really take those tools and that knowledge and be able to apply them, that I would encourage you definitely to take the jump because the vendingpreneur community, Mike Hoffman, as well as yourself, have been incredible mentors to be able to learn from and be able to take all of that knowledge. It really speeds up your learning process. And that's something that I found extremely valuable within the community is it speeds up that learning process for you to be able to take that knowledge and apply it as quickly as possible. If individuals choose not to, pursue vendingpreneur, I think that, you're limiting your ability to, I think, fast track your learning curve and being able to really take those skills to apply it to your business.
Yeah, no, I agree with with basically, with what you said. I mean, I had the same type of sentiment as well too. Like when I was looking into here, like with when I got laid off and like I had 2 kids and I didn't want to do the do it yourself route. Like I needed to expedite my success. That's what I needed to do. I needed the resources, I needed the support, I needed the community there. I needed like that pseudo board of directors that I always talk about. Like that's what I needed. You could watch a YouTube video, but then you also have other questions about this or that, And for me, that was something that which I found a lot of value in. Just kind of like how you utilized me in the beginning. You came out, you shadowed me, you kind of got like a real live look of training of exactly like what it took and how it did. And it was a good experience for you, even though you dipped out on that last second one there so you could beat the traffic, but that's okay. We'll think about that. But yeah, no, like that's the power of this because like literally like for you to go out there and shadow, like that's some really good live physically live like experience and just the support now that's in the community with all the different calls and it's almost like really like a handhold type process like you have an outreach for like anything. I'm just really happy about it and just it's a scary time right now. A lot of people losing jobs or potentially going to be losing jobs here. And I remember when my wife was saying we were contemplating at the time of either me doing a business or getting a W-2 job. And she's like, well, Anthony, you get a W-2 job, the same thing might happen in 2 years. And you know what? She's right. Cause there's been a ton of layoffs here of just like not blue collar jobs, but like these white collar jobs, at these companies here. So it is, yeah. I mean, so she was right. I'm glad that she was there to support me, along the way. But your story is extremely inspirational. And I think you haven't even scratched the surface yet of your potential of what you're going to be doing here with your route here. I find it inspiring for you to take that mindset early on in your journey of your life to say, hey, you know what? Law school, not for me. Corporate investment banking, not for me. I'm going to go ahead and you recognize and saying, hey, it's going to be risky. It's going to be on me, but I'm going to bet on myself to go ahead to make sure that I'm going to make something happen. And just hearing that, dude, is just like, is awesome. And we need more people like you, having that mentality, man. So again, like I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming on here, sharing your journey. And then hopefully some folks that watch this, younger or older, go ahead and get some inspiration from your story.
Yeah, absolutely. We say it all the time, but like the opportunities now for you to be able to kind of take control of your
Yeah.
own journey, and it's really on you, and the community's a great not only learning platform and resources, but also in terms of accountability accountability when you're feeling like questioning whether it's the right, kind of decision. The community also gives that, positive support. So again, I can't speak, highly enough about the community. Mike Hoffman, you've been a phenomenal mentor that I've continued to learn from, and that, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And I look back well over a year, and I'm really grateful for making that decision to really, double down on myself and my
Yeah.
journey. So absolutely.
I gotta do it to you, brother. Gotta put on the jacket. I have to end the interview with this on. So we are recording this on January 13th, 2026, and the Bears came back and beat the Packers in the wild card round this past weekend. We have been owned by you for my whole life, and it feels good to get that win. So, brother, I had to put the jacket, the old school starter jacket on, the blue and orange. I had to put it on here to end this interview, my guy. So I know we had a little friendly wager here that me and you talked about. So I will be definitely enjoying that lunch when you come down here. So
Absolutely. I mean, all I can say is it's a great win, but Packer Nation will be back. We'll be back stronger than ever.
yeah, yep, absolutely. So, all right, everyone, that was Evan Tomahawk's story. If you're interested in joining Vendingpreneurs along other successful vending operators like himself, please click on the link below to book a call with us today. Evan, again, my man, I appreciate it, and bear down, buddy.
I appreciate the opportunity to come speak and look forward to seeing more people join the community.
All right, thanks, man.